Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 16th to the 30th, 2023 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel be seen by the YouTube algorithm and gets it out to more people. It also lets me know that you like this type of content. So, thank you so very much for doing so. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the magician. And as soon as I said magician, spirit said, you're not seeing your own magic and you're not claiming your gifts. So this is something to be aware of. We're going to be more than ready to see the gifts and the power and the prosperity of others, but we don't see it within ourselves. And that's something we need to be aware of during this time. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Here we have adventure reversed. This is a time for an adventure. Even if we really want one, we're going to find that it's not a big adventure. It can be a little adventure that we're on. But during this time, we kind of want things to be a little bit more stable, a little bit more secure, a little bit more, I just hear like a rhythm to them, a pattern to them, a comfort to them. And that's going to be very reassuring. So even if we are longing for an adventure, like something wild and crazy, and oh, we'd just love to do that right now, it's going to be a calmer time, or we need it to be a calmer time. So just be aware of that, because I see it's going to be calmer, but we also need that calmer energy around us for our own souls and our own spirits, even if our ego or like, the energy around it's like, oh, I want this all to change. It's like, no, I need to embrace calm and powerful. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I know all the cards came out reversed, which gets some people very annoyed, but it's the message that Spirit has to say, and it's not bad. We have all major arcana cards, except for one court card. And so this is a very, very powerful time. Now, this is a time where we have a lot of strength around us, but we do have somebody in particular trying to throw their strength around, meaning they fully believe might equals right. Or this is the type of person who believes if I yell, if I throw a hissy fit, if I scream, you will have to listen to me. We can also be having a bit of difficulty with Leos and Capricorns, fire sign energies, emphasizing Leos, but this is also Aries and Sagittarius. We have Pisces here and we have Gemini. So we can be finding things to be a little bit complicated. We can be finding the end of Gemini time period to be a little bit complicated. And Gemini time period, of course, ends on the 20th of June. And we have our own Cancer time period starting on the summer solstice if you're in the northern hemisphere, or the winter solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere. So that's really quite beautiful and makes you guys so very powerful. With strength reversed, we are also having to look at things differently. There can be something that happened where we might not feel as strong as we usually feel, or we might not be able to kind of maneuver things the way that we usually are able to. And Spirit is saying here, strength is not necessarily what we think it is. It is the strength of compassion, the strength of love, the strength of moving forward in harmony of self. And that's going to be something that we're challenged to really embrace and embark on that journey with. We can also find that certain people that we thought we'd work really well with, we're just not kind of getting on with. And this isn't a bad reading. I know a lot of you cancers can be like, oh my gosh, you told me everybody to be mindful of, and everything's upside down, everything's topsy-turvy, and I'm not having an adventure, and I'm not seeing my own magic, and what the heck's the point? It's that we're supposed to slow down and see ourselves. Look in the mirror and not just see everything that we wish we could be, or, everything that we would like to be, but really being contented with who we are. The devil reverse is absolutely brilliant. It is a release of toxicity from our body, from our lives, a sense of breaking away from chains, breaking away from the way things have to be, or expectations of others. This is also addictions. Any form of addictions, we are also being freed from. And we're going to see ourselves moving forward in a real sense of prosperity, in a real sense of determination. There's also the sense here, when it comes to hot-headedness, when it comes to losing tempers, there's somebody around us. Now, it could be us as well. We can have a tendency to be a little bit hot-headed during this time. So do be mindful about this. But whomever it is who throws their weight around, who really believes that if I throw a tantrum, and this is what this person has done since they were really little. Like, they're the type of kid who would have held their breath until they turned blue and passed out and got in their way, type of deal. They're used to bullying to get their way. This is going to stop now. It's like, no, I'm not putting up with this. No, this is not okay. And no, we are not even going to revisit this again. So this person can be very successful in their life, okay? But you're kind of calling them out, which is going to be something that changes the relationship. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that, because it's interesting, it's beautiful, because there's strength and there's power here. But also in your life, if there was anything that you were taught where it was kind of like being aggressive, or, kind of single-mindedly determined and everything like that, it's just like go, 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 push, 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 push. You're going to see that you're stepping away from that mentality during this time. And you're really asking yourself, what am I passionate about? How do I let my passion shine? How do I let myself step into what I desire? You're out of harmony with your root chakra and with your sacral chakra. There's nothing bad with that. Just when you meditate, or if you listen to like music on YouTube, listen to sacral chakra healings and listen to root chakra healings, but mostly the sacral chakra, the root chakra, Spirit's saying like throw in the root chakra as well. It'll be very beneficial. But sacral chakra here, really freeing yourself and moving yourself forward, that's going to be highly beneficial. You're going to see that there's some sort of change around career, around letting your passions shine forward. With the moon, there's a resistance to change. And we see that in both the King of Wands and in the moon. There's a resistance to change that we need to acknowledge. And there's something here where different faces are coming forward. You can be dealing with somebody who shows you one face, they show somebody else another face, somebody else another face, and you're like, I'm done with this. And you're walking away from that energy because it's like, I'm not being, manipulated this way. But we're going to see that there's a lot of change coming forward for us. We're ruled by the moon, Cancer. So when the moon comes forward, reversed, It can be the tides that rule us are, kind of pulling our emotions in many different ways. Be mindful of full moons, of new moons. Be mindful of the phases of the moon during this time because you'll find yourself to be quite moon sensitive. Nothing wrong with that. It's just going to be how it is. There's also a sense of a gift not being seen or something being overlooked. You know, understanding that, like just knowing that during this time you're going to be like, oh, well, why isn't that fitting quite right? Go back and look at it again. You know, just know that it's going to be very easy during this time to overlook things because you have a lot coming at you, energetically speaking. Now, with the lovers reversed, this isn't that there isn't going to be love, because there is, but it can feel as if energy roles are reversed. And I don't know how that will work in your life, but just be aware of that. There's also a need to come into harmony with the sacred masculine and sacred feminine aspects of yourself. The sense of this is me, because there's something that's out of balance here. You can also feel like as you're moving forward, because things are so uncertain, you're not blessed. You're not being watched over. You definitely are being watched over. But because so much toxicity or and aggression is being released, it can be hard to really focus on love and gentleness and calmness. And that's going to be something that we need to kind of make time for during this time, to really sit there and say, this is what I love. This is what harmonizes me. This is what balances me. This is what's important. And yeah, that's going to be one of the first things we just say, okay, that doesn't matter type of thing. It's going to matter a lot during this time. Now, this is a general overview, but if we're looking for a relationship during this time, or if we're looking for a relationship, this may not be the most advantageous time to find somebody. Just know that. Just be like, okay, so go along your merry way. And if somebody comes into your life, fantastic. If they don't, fantastic. If you're already in a relationship, you can find that you two talk to each other, but it almost feels like you're speaking the same language, but from your mouth to your ears, it it changes, right? It changes languages. It's like, what the heck's going on here? So this can be a time where we find it a bit frustrating, and we can really need to work on our communication and on the way that we're connecting with each other. Just putting a little bit of effort into, connecting, slowing things down, making sure that we're heard, just knowing that there are going to be some things where you could be saying the exact same thing and you get into a fight because one isn't understanding what the other is saying, and it wounds up at the end that you were saying the same thing. So just be aware of that during this time. It's just a little bit like there's a little bit of a hiccup here to be smoothed out. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Four of Cups. Divinity wants us to look at things a little bit differently. Be mindful that we're kind of very set in our ways. It's like, this is how I'm seeing it. This is how it is. This is how it needs to be. And divinity is going to do its absolute darndest to really get you to pay attention in a very different way. So that's going to be a big deal. It is, because there's going to be something that comes. It's like a curveball, could literally knock you off your feet, but it like whips your head around. So just be aware of that. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Fairy tale. Oh. So this is very specific for a person. There was a fairy tale that you like were absolutely enchanted by as a child. Revisit that story. It holds a message for you. Okay, there was a reason why you were enchanted by it. So just be aware of this. But for everybody else, it's also and for you as well. Like, it's time to let the magic back into our lives, to be enchanted by the fairy tales, to know that the fairy tales matter and they're important. Okay? It's time to have fairy tales back in our lives. And our subconscious tarot message is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. We're not feeling as prosperous as we want to. And it's not even that. It's like, why bother planting all these seeds? It's not coming to fruition the way that I thought. And this is going to be a time where we're going to realize, like, yeah, it wasn't coming to fruition the way that I thought it would. But what's growing is wild and wonderful and can lead us on an adventure. You know, that spirit saying, okay, we're not quite ready for yet, but it can lead us on an adventure in a way that we hadn't imagined. There is a sense here where it's almost like we're trying, I'm just seeing like the gardens of Versailles, right? We're trying to keep everything ordered and structured, and yet the wildflowers want to grow. And Spirit is saying here, let the wildflowers go. Let it be a cottage garden. Let it be a little bit wild. Let it be a little bit mystical and magical, a little bit beautiful. It's not supposed to be as structured as we want it to be. And that's going to be a big thing to realize. It's interesting that the cusp energy for us, when when Cancer time period ends, Leo begins, right? When Gemini time period begins, ends, Cancer begins. So there's going to be this energy here where we can find the transition stages to be a little bit difficult. Like the transition isn't as smooth as we would like it to be. Being aware of that is going to be very important. All right. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a healing away of negative energy, a releasing of negative energy, and an embracing of positive energy as we move forward in love and peace and gratitude. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. Have a blessed end of June. I love you all. God bless. Bye.